Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Oh, happy 7th night of Hanukkah. And the 16th story in our Advent story series. We're so glad you could be with us. It's so great that you could join us. Tonight's story is Oskar and the 8 Blessings, which is another great Hanukkah Christmas story together.
Yes.
So we're glad you could join us for it.
We're glad Errol deigned to join us as well.
Errol the Wonder Cat has dropped by just to look at his adoring fans, so
Yes.
glad that you're with us. Today we have a special reach into the 16th pocket here of our Advent calendar made by our friend Debonair, and
What is it?
It is a beautiful shepherd.
Oh.
And I think this shepherd looks like our friend Bob Boyce. If you know Bob Boyce, you can vote on whether you think that's true or not. But we're going to put Bob, the shepherd, right up here with all of his sheep under the tree. There he is.
Right. He's keeping his flocks by night.
There they are. And we have another star for our Hanukkah to put on the tree. So that's our ornament for tonight, is this beautiful star for Hanukkah. A light in the sky. And we'll put that on in a little while so we don't bother the cat.
Well, so the cat can play with it first.
That's right. So we hope that you had a good day today. Today we're going to tell a story about blessings. Do you ever count your blessings? Do you ever sit down and go 1, 2, 3?
I have to use imaginary numbers because they go that high.
Well, that's right. There's a lot of blessings out there if we stop to think about it. Well, let's see what Oskar discovers about the 8 blessings. Here is Storycam, and we'll be sharing Oskar and the 8 Blessings by Richard Simon and Tanya Simon, and illustrated by Mark Siegel.
Lovely. Can you use that? No biting.
She's talking to the cat, by the way, not me.
Not cat.
Oskar arrived in New York on the 7th day of Hanukkah. It was also Christmas Eve. He knew his Aunt Esther would be lighting the menorah at sunset. To reach her before the sun went down, Oskar would have to walk over 100 blocks on the avenue called Broadway.
Wow. The city was terribly big. Oskar was terribly small, and Broadway stretched before him like a river.
Oskar was already tired, hungry, and cold. His father's last words to him felt very far away. After a few blocks, he looked up to see a woman feeding pigeons.
She offered him a piece of a stale roll so he could feed them too. Oskar wanted to feed the birds, but he was too hungry not to swallow the morsel himself. Stop it. The woman reached inside her coat and gave him a small loaf of bread. It was warm and fresh. It gave him the strength to keep walking.
He saw a newsstand full of comics. One showed a strong man in a cape doing amazing things. He stopped bullets. He stopped trains. The newsstand man held out his hand. Oskar didn't have money, so he gave back the comic book. The man called to him. There he is. Hey, keep it, kid. Merry Christmas.
Oskar clutched his gift, his Superman, and he heard his father's words. You have to look for the blessings. So many people.
It'd be terrifying to be in New York City by yourself, and
Small boy.
that's right. Beautiful pictures of him looking for blessings.
That's the Macy's display window.
Oskar kept walking. He stopped when he heard music coming from a little alley where a big man was humming a jazzy tune. The man whistled to Oskar. Oskar whistled back. They made a tune as fast and light as the snowflakes falling around them. It was Oskar's first conversation in America.
Count Basie. At the corner of a park, boys were having a snowball fight. One boy slipped. Oskar leapt and caught him, just as the Superman would have done. The boy was laughing, and that made Oskar laugh. But when he looked at Oskar's cold hands, he stopped laughing. He took off his mittens. Oskar put them on and felt the boy's warmth. He had something to give the boy, too. His precious comic book.
A few blocks later, a tall lady in a big coat walked out of a building. A policeman shouted, "Stand aside!" Oskar stopped short. "Oh, Thomas, he's just a child," the lady said to the policeman. "Let him pass." She winked at Oskar. The policeman moved out of Oskar's path. "Yes, Miss Roosevelt." "Mrs. Roosevelt?"
The sun was setting, and Oskar began to run. He had to get to Aunt Esther's before she lit the shamash. Running, he stumbled, and he fell. A hand reached down.
And pulled him up. "Back on your feet, son." His father was right. People can be good.
He turned the corner and ran down the street, looking for her house. He ran past a woman humming a niggle. Suddenly he heard a name.
Benjamin? It wasn't his name, and it washed over him. It was his father's, and it washed over him again. He had a dimpled smile just like his. That's Papa," he said. I'm...
"Oskar," whispered Aunt Esther.
And there they are.
Oh.
The end.
The end.
They found each other. Oh, sometimes blessings come when we most need them, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that boy surely needed them after
a long journey and a boat ride and coming to a city you didn't even know. Yikes. Yeah, I've been a traveler. I've been to lots of places, but I have almost always known where I was going. It would be a really scary thing. So it's good that there are lights in the window. And I'm not talking about the lights that, like a menorah candle. I'm talking about the lights in the windows of people's hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the lights that guide us sometimes the most.
Yeah, I think all the time people are running toward us, and maybe they've never met us, but they know a face and they know an address.
That's right.
And we just haven't met yet,
That's
but
right.
we have lit those lights for them.
That's exactly right. Well, we hope that there are lights lit from the hearts of the people around you, and we hope that you're lighting one so others can find you and be guided by all the gifts that you might have to offer. Maybe it's a hand up when somebody trips, or maybe it's a book that somebody would love to read, or maybe it's just a kind word. Yeah. Whatever that light is, put that in the window of your heart, and maybe together we can make a brighter day for somebody.
Maybe it's a fuzzy cat to hold.
Maybe it's a fuzzy cat to hold, just like this one. Well, holding cats, or holding stuffed animals, or holding the hands of a friend or a family, let's sing our good night song and wish everybody a good rest. Good night, beloved mine. Good night, sleep well, my dear. Good night, beloved mine. Good night, sleep well, my dear. May cherubim and seraphim watch over you and hover near. Good night, beloved mine. Good night, sleep well, my dear. Well, Well, the cat's in his basket. It must be time for bed.
Time for bed.
Hope you have a wonderful evening and a really, really good tomorrow.
Good night.